Meet Bob. Bob is a 21-year-old man who has recently decided to learn front lever. He is a very motivated person, so the moment decision is made, he immediately goes online and starts his research. As letters fill the search bar, Bob's excitement gradually increases. In this moment, nothing else matters to him. There's only one simple question on Bob's mind: how to achieve the front lever. He stumbles across some videos on YouTube and starts consuming the content. He is sure the answer is hiding just around the corner. Little does he know, it's just the beginning. The hours go by. Bob is still sitting in his room doing his research. He tries to figure out what is the perfect way to train, what is the optimal approach. He wants to know everything, be precise, be diligent, but the information does turn out to be too overwhelming to handle. The moment he thinks he got the answer, the next idea appears, and then the next one. Tired and confused, Bob decides to abandon the front lever for now. Sad and stressed out by his long overthinking night, Bob closes his laptop and goes to sleep. Maybe he will find the perfect program in his dreams.
The paralysis of analysis is the term probably first time being used in the 1970s in one of the Times articles. However, the essence of the problem has been expressed many times before, even in the antique era. The fox and the cat fable illustrates the paradox of having too many options. When hunters arrive with their dogs, the cat quickly decides to climb a tree, while the fox thinks of many ways without acting, and in result is caught by the hounds. You see, Bob's story is the representation of struggles that many calisthenics athletes go through. And ironically, this problem is not exclusive neither to beginners nor advanced practitioners. No matter where you are on your bodyweight journey, it's hard not to overthink our choices to some degree. It's just that I think some of us take it a bit too far. We live in a world of unlimited dose of information. Fitness became a mainstream genre available for almost everyone. The new exercises, routines, methods are bombarding us across every social media platform from the moment we wake up till we go to sleep. And it's not to say it's something bad. At the end of the day, knowledge is a huge power.
Knowledge.
And to become best possible athletes, we should always educate, expand horizons and challenge our current beliefs. However, there is also the other end of the spectrum. Too many ideas, too much information can create unnecessary noise and confusion that can sometimes be literally paralyzing. You see, the miserable path we may find ourselves in usually looks like this. Everything starts right here, with maximization, the constant pursuit of ways to optimize and create an ideal training or nutrition plan, which unfortunately is impossible with all the inputs. Articles, YouTubers, Instagram accounts, books. Everyone has something to say, something to bring to the table. The ideas are very often contradicting, and finding some sort of settling approach is ironically in no one's business. Confusion creates demand, demand creates attention, and attention brings profit. So you start analyzing and overthinking each option, considering different training philosophies, ideas and opinions to the point you get overwhelmed. The path may end up in two different scenarios. You either get paralyzed and postpone your decision making, just like Bob in the opening story, or you in fact make a decision but constantly reconsider if you made a good choice or not. After some usually short time, you may realize this rep scheme, exercise or progression model is not the most optimal one, so out of regret you make a change, and then another change, and so on. If you ever heard of the program hopping, that's exactly what this term represents. This phenomena was discussed in depth by Barry Schwartz in his popular book The Paradox of Choice. The author explains how choice can paradoxically not lead to freedom but mentioned paralysis. He also illustrates in my eyes a very important concept for bodyweight athletes and those who create training or nutrition plans: maximizing versus satisficing. Let's get back to the origins of street workout for a moment. Every single one of us remembers Hannibal for King, Zef Zakaveli or Lord Viral, the true hardcore guys who have undoubtedly had an impact on popularizing bodyweight training. Let's take a glance at the east side of the world. How many crazy anti-gravity monsters these local bars produced? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you really think these guys had perfectly written programs? I mean, do you believe they were planning out their hypertrophy phases, including RPE charts, deloads, counting their volume and modifying intensity? The answer is probably no, but do you know why despite that these guys were achieving both great appearance and calisthenics performance? Apart from good genetics, they've been training hard and been consistent. Now, am I telling this to you to devalue or disregard training education? Absolutely not. I would be a hypocrite if I did so. All I want to state is that these two things are the staples of any training success. And even the worst completely out of place program will produce some results if being regularly executed. So why? Why it's so hard to choose and even harder to maintain it? I think what partially creates the overthinking tendencies in calisthenics and training in general is the illusion of control. By wanting to be absolutely perfect, we overlook the fact human body is not a mechanical machine. In fact, it's something much more complex, the biological system that has its own rights. We can try being very exact, but the performance and adaptation of our body will still depend on too many variables to expect the full control. How much you slept last night, what did you eat, outside stressors, activity level. Even if the body response was only dependent on what you do in the gym, you have only so much control on that either. What if you pull more explosively in one rep? What if your elbows went more to the side? You leaned more in the negative portion. Was that 1 or maybe 2 reps in reserve? Training is not 100% measurable, and that's why focusing on absolute nuances can be a huge rabbit hole. I feel another problem exclusive to bodyweight training is the myth of perfect exercise. In powerlifting, for example, the situation is much simpler. There are 3 competition lifts that every powerlifter has to improve at. And in fact, the best way to do it is usually by training these lifts. You are able to do it by reducing the load on the bar, so then you have to only care about reps, sets, loads, etc. In bodyweight training, you don't have this luxury. First of all, no one tells you what to train. It's completely up to you, and all these possible attractive choices make the decision very difficult. When you choose a skill you want to achieve, there's a high chance you can't just replicate it under lower resistance, so you have to find the right exercises. Should you do eccentrics? Are static holds good? Are bands or maybe progressions better? As you can see, it creates a new area and potential for approach changing. One day you will do this, next week that, and you end up by not making any progress. From the whole TED Talk of Barry Schwartz, this specific part is my favorite one.
The world we used to live in looked like this. That is to say, there were some choices, but not everything was a matter of choice. And the world we now live in looks like this. And the question is this good news or bad news? And the answer is yes.
It illustrates the whole subject greatly. There is no one answer, there is no good nor bad, but there is something in the middle, the balance that we can strive for in terms of training hard versus training smart. In the previous part I mentioned the concept of maximizing versus satisfying. Barry makes a clear distinction in his book by writing, "The difference between the two types is that the satisficer is content with the merely excellent as opposed to the absolute best." You see, if I want us, bodyweight athletes, and in fact any fitness enthusiast encouraged to one mindset shift after this video, it is, be a satisficer, not a maximizer. It certainly doesn't mean not to be ambitious. Do all in your power to educate, gain experience, challenge your current beliefs and become smarter practitioners. However, by doing so, pick an idea, a system, an exercise and follow through it. Test it out by putting the effort and time, as these are the staples of any training achievement. Don't be afraid to try new things, but don't jump on them all at once. Accept the fact that what you do now may turn out not to be the best option and that you might change it later on. Strive to be perfect, but don't expect to be so. With this beautifully summarizing sentence, I would like to finish the video about overthinking. Probably the most overthought video I've ever done. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more calisthenics productions in the near future, you can subscribe to the channel. Maybe we'll hit 1000 very soon. Don't forget to like the video to help it spread out to a wider public, and follow me on Instagram for quick calisthenics tips and important announcements like the ones regarding standing mirror footage that I can later on use in the videos. Also, if you have some interesting insights regarding the topic of overthinking, please share it in the comments and I'm gonna be more than happy to read it. Thank you so much for watching. This was Things Movement TV. Talk to you next time.